I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
Sam Healy. Welcome back, folks.
And welcome to Crowd Surfing, a show about Kickstarter and possibly other crowd surfing platforms, but not today because it's all about Kickstarter and the different board games. We are definitely in prime Kickstarter season. I mean, we're in the upswing, right? And that's because we're between conventions, the big conventions. Essen's in 3 weeks or so. So now people are launching all the stuff, you know, the fall stuff that you will get at Christmas in 2021. Actually,
2022 maybe.
I don't know what the longest I've ever seen is, but I definitely have seen like 2 years out.
Yeah.
Then you back it and you forget about it, I guess.
Hopefully. Or you're me.
They won't let you because they will send you, they'll send you a zillion reminders. All right, well, like we do every time, we're going to take a look at some Kickstarters and tell you what we think. Here we go. Alrighty, big and small this week. We'll start with a smallish Kickstarter here. This one is called Lots, a competitive tower building game. Gotta be honest, if it didn't... Oh, yes, thank you. If it didn't say the word lots in the description of the video, the top there, I would not know that's what it was called. Would you have figured? Well, I guess I could. I guess if I sat around and thought about it a lot.
I mean, the logo is confusing.
I didn't even know that was a word.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, until it.
It's not intuitive that that's what the name of the game is.
Sure, but that's okay. I still think it looks cool,
It's
although
thematic,
it looks like
man.
a kid's toy.
Yeah.
Putting these blocks out. I don't know. This is one I found.
It looks like
Pueblo or
Rumis.
Yeah.
What Rumis used to be, or 3D Blocus, whatever that was called. That's what it looks like, but
it looks almost like a mass market game, but
yeah.
I'm
okay with it.
I think that's kind of where what they're going for. Yeah, there's a few mass market looking games in this week's roundup, and this is one of them. There's another game coming up a little later on, which is also about stacking things that looks a little more fancy, maybe a little more appealing to me than this one. But it looks all right. Again, I think it might do well for non-gamers or new gamers or whatever.
I'd play it. It looks interesting. All right, then we have some mega game, which somehow I missed completely, and Trespass Odyssey. I mean,
And
this
it
game
is
is
raking in the dough.
Yeah, it's
My goodness.
you know, pushing on $1 million here, and not a ton of backers actually. If you,
Means it's expensive.
they're paying on average
it all-
more than $100 per
There's an all-in
thing.
for $300.
Is there?
Yeah, right there. He's $2.99. Yeah.
So these guys have done some Kickstarters before with the same kind of thing, big miniatures, and it's, you know, this, when I first looked at this, I really thought, are these the Kingdom Death guys? Because that's what I thought it was.
Right.
It has a similar look to it.
It's not.
No, it's not. I can't tell though what kind of game it is. I know it's a
It's a miniatures game.
Well, thanks.
I know it has miniatures.
No, I mean,
in
like
it.
I'm sort of doing that facetiously. It's kind of like that's all you need to know.
Well,
It's a miniatures game.
I was
There
looking through
are-
it and I was like, is there a board?
There are miniatures. Stop asking questions.
Well,
That's kind of what they're going
they
for.
got stats and stuff here. Well,
Yeah, whatever. It looks like basically, don't ask too many questions. There's dice and miniatures.
See,
and there's
scroll
like
back up a little bit. Is that the
1,500 cards.
Is that the board? It's got a.
that's
looks
called
like
a battle board.
Oh, there's
Right.
tiles.
I know there's tiles, yeah, but I just couldn't. I was looking for like a setup version of the game, and like that's the closest it
That
gets
is-
right there.
That is insane amount of stuff.
No, it's not.
Why?
That's a lot.
Joan of Arc was like twice that.
I'm not
Easy.
I'm not saying Joan of Arc wasn't insane. Now this is okay. There we go. That's
the
the
core box,
introductory
yeah.
game. That I could, if this came in the mail, I'd be like, okay, let's figure this out. I've always wanted to play a game with a monster that's made up of a bunch of fists.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, again, is that supposed to be respective of what the game looks like set up? And if so, where's this game going to take place?
Yeah, well, I guess maybe there's I'd have to watch them how to play videos and stuff, but they have busting through stretch goals right and left.
Yeah.
And there's just, again, a lot of content, and we'll have to wait and see when it comes out. When this one is coming out?
It's got 5 days left, but 2020.
2021. So it's that's quite a long ways away. Again, it's one of those ones.
Pledged $700 or more.
No, it's a group pledge.
Yeah, I know, but I was like,
Find 5
holy
friends.
cow.
This looks like if I want to paint miniatures, you get yourself this. I'm worried about the game. There's not a whole lot of information about the game.
That's what I'm talking about.
also always
it looks great, but I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm also always a little worried when there's one of these big Kickstarter games with 1 billion cards, and it's from some company I've never heard of in Poland or somewhere. I'm like, because I've already had it happen where the English translation isn't up to snuff.
Yeah.
And I would hate to get this kind of money sunk into something that is then messy. You know what I mean? But hey, minis are going to look good. Yes.
Alrighty. By the way, if you're just watching Crowd Surfing for the first time, we only ever talk about games that are ending in the next 14 to 15 days, because in 2 weeks we do this again. So you're like, what about this Kickstarter just launched? We'll probably talk about it next time. Up Your Game, which sounds like a 7-Up commercial from the...
Yeah. 7-Up your game.
It does.
So this is apparently a new competitor to Top Shelf Gaming, where they have stuff. I really struggled with this one, as in, do I want this or not?
I thought this might be your pick of the week, but I guess it's not.
Well, I love this stuff, right?
I know. That's why I was like, Tom's pick.
Well, okay, so I looked at these gold bars, for example.
Yeah, they're actual gold.
Those are golden logs.
They look like the wooden things from Catan that are just golden colored. That doesn't scream golden bars to me.
Okay.
Midas is
The coins are fine, but we have we have coins in a lot of videos.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, a lot of things. These swords and bows, I couldn't think of a lot of places I would use those in. The crystal balls, same thing. And the stone and wood, those both look fine, but that's...
Oh, those are wood? That looked like, when I was first going through it, I was like, I didn't, of course, see the word wood, but those, I saw a picture of it somewhere else, and I was like, is that a cappuccino? I was like, why would you have a cappuccino in a game?
Kind of looks like it. I see it.
But stone and wood is something that's in a lot of sets. So is wheat, hearts, clay.
What about that meat, though? That's a good looking.
Meat.
It's a good looking slab.
Actually, I don't dislike the meat. I think the metal also looks good. And the crate's fine, but again, they're kind of unlocking these, and this is all stuff we've seen Stegmeyer do already.
Sure, yeah. I think that a lot of these shapes look to be those shapes.
And
like that clay is exactly the shape that comes out of the Stonemeyer treasure chest.
Yes.
It's identical.
Which one? The clay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so is
exact thing.
We've seen the crate before.
Different color, yeah.
The player tokens,
maybe.
They're okay. They look cool, but I mean, you could just go to the store and buy some cool little doodad like that and make it a player token.
I do like that hammer. The hammer.
Sure, but I mean,
I'm not.
You have a cool little Thor's hammer like that, and you could, if you want to use a first player token.
Oh, it broke.
Did it?
Yeah, it broke.
Oh man, Hella had her hands on it.
She did.
Alrighty. Hasty Baker, the card game.
Yeah.
I like this guy. I don't think you can do that.
You can't.
I don't think that's a possible.
Unless the bowls have like the some of the Pampered Chef bowls have a rubber bottom where they don't move around. But those bowls, those things would be like spinning as much as you did.
Like do that? What he's doing that?
Yeah,
on two bowls at the same time?
Nope.
No.
Unless you got soup in there. If you got soup, it'll work. But
so why is this one on our list? Because I like food. So
this looks like a.
I like the art for it too.
This is another one of the ones that we were talking about. Look like a mass market game.
Yeah.
It looks very light. Take that, simple play.
I love what Noah says. That was a lot more fun than I expected.
That's not a quote I would put on the game.
Yeah, well, you know.
Good job, Noah. You are a man.
I'd pay $10 million for this game, says Charlie, age 6.
Yes.
He's only 6, so it's okay.
I know, but if I read it, I'm like, oh, I guess I'll back it. For $10 million.
Oh,
Charlie, I'll make your dream come true.
That's cool.
No, that's fine.
Again,
but
that's the demographic they're going for.
I didn't put this on the list to make fun of it, actually. I think it looks okay.
It looks nice. It's all right. I like the artwork, but it is definitely a lighter silly, take that kind of game
Yeah.
that you
Sure.
would back. If you come across this and you're not aware of gaming as it is sort of today, this looks really awesome, and I could totally see you backing this.
When I first saw this, when I was looking at it this morning, I thought it said Nasty Baker. I was like, what kind of game is this going to be? But
be
and then it
awesome.
was like Hasty Baker. Okay.
Oh, speaking of that, I forgot to
got
take
it.
that one joke one out of here. Oh well, guess we're gonna show it now. Alrighty.
Joke one?
Well, there was one I put in here just to be silly to show you guys. But
Oh, I think I know which one it was.
it's pretty obvious.
It's the one we were joking about all morning.
Oh,
Anyhow,
there's a bad word in that.
okay, Moonrakers.
Okay, well, go on.
It's got parentheses.
Moonrakers.
Moonrakers.
This one we played yesterday, live on our channel.
Was I here for that?
Yes, you were here for that.
Jeez.
This
remember,
is
I
a
remember.
deck building
Negotiation.
negotiation game. If I was describing to someone, I'd be like Cosmic Encounter mixed with Dominion. I mean,
Yes.
that's a very broad
Yes.
thing. That's not a but I really like the art and the look of this game. It has a very distinct look to anyone else, and I'll tell you that prototype we played yesterday.
Oh my goodness, the quality of the prototype was
Pretty
better than the quality of a lot of games we play.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
Published games is great.
So definitely Sam won or someone won, I forget.
Sam Healy, I believe, did win.
It just happened and worked out that way. That's it.
All right, so
Never to be trusted.
definitely
in
check
board
it out.
games
It's straight up build your hand, negotiate with other people over going on the missions, and that's Moonrakers.
Yeah.
And
that's
that
cool.
this one's doing really
cool.
well actually.
It is. It's doing really well. It's
Wow.
blowing it up.
Yeah.
308K. This would have been my pick of the week, but I felt kind of strange playing it and then saying it's my pick of the week.
I would have said that's because he won.
No.
That's what,
Well, again, that's another reason I didn't pick it for my pick of the week. But this
Actually-
is in the running for my pick of the week. I'll put it
all
that
right,
way.
well, I told her I thought one of you two would pick it, but I guess I was wrong. Reigns the Council. Now, this was an interesting one. I saw a Q&A for this one online from Bruno Feduti, and then I don't know this designer at all, Hervé Marley. Apparently, this is based on a video game of some sorts, maybe?
I did not catch this. This was a Bruno Feduti design.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right.
Okay, oh, this guy is the guy who designed the Werewolves of Miller's Hollow and Skull. Huh, I wonder why his name... It's just odd I don't know his name, I guess, that well. Maybe...
I've seen it, but I did not remember what he had done.
So they work together, and Mark has played this, obviously, which is why.
Yeah.
It talks about a lot of people liking the game. What do you think? I mean,
Kinda
it's
sounds a
another...
little- It kind of sounds like Democracy lighter.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Kind
Okay.
of like a party version of that, where you have like card, it shows you a couple of symbols, and you suggest to the person running the round, like, I want to pass a law about, there's a goat and a chef's hat and whatever. Like you could say a law about eating goats every other week, and we got to outlaw that. And then they might say yes, they might say no, and I think there's symbols on it that you're trying to push on the sliders.
Sure, they show that here. You have the
there
church
you go.
people,
So it's
army, and
basically
wealth.
kind of that Democracy game in which you attempted to pass laws that would change the way in which you'd score. That game had not a lot more going on than this. It seems okay. It seems, I can't put my finger on whether this is going to feel contrived or not without playing it.
Well, you can print and play it if you want to try it
Good.
out.
No.
You've never printed and played a game in your life.
I've printed plenty of games in my life. Have I played them? No.
All right.
I won't even print them.
I haven't printed
Power
them.
Rangers, Heroes of the Grid Phase 2. This one's a little surprising to me that it's not actually even more explosive, because the first one I think did pretty well.
Okay.
I just figured usually a second one. I mean, don't get me wrong.
You played this?
200,000. I played the
209.
first one, yeah.
You like it.
It's fine. It's a good cooperative game. I think I would enjoy it more if I was a Power Rangers fan. I've been saying I just have a hard time getting this one. I was like, hey, who wants to play Power Rangers? And everyone's like, and then going away. Because if you're not in that, if you didn't grow up with it, it's almost the same as me saying, hey, you want to play Care Bears or whatever.
Yeah, when I saw you playing
Jetsons.
it at Cool Stuff, I saw that the other people were not. Well, a couple of them were having a really good time, but I think it's because, like you said, they were the Power Rangers fans.
Maybe. And this is just more stuff for it. I didn't even know there were this many different Rangers, right? Like the original game comes...
Dude, there's like Oh goodness, there's like I want to say 10 different versions. They've got pirates, they've got
Wait, what?
dinosaurs, and
No. What I mean is, no. I get this. I'm talking. I guess they must keep changing actors and actresses.
Yeah, they do.
And then it's a new name.
Each of those different things, like there's the pirate Power Rangers and the dinosaur Megazord Power Rangers, and there's a whole bunch of different series, I guess you could say, and they all have different actresses.
You sure? But they're not still the Power Rangers?
They are. But
They're
it's
not
like
just called the Power, like a Pink Ranger and Green Ranger? That's not just what they're
No,
called?
they're still called that, but if you look up here, you'll see, where is it? Like Tommy Oliver. They have their names. So this is Adam Park, Zeo Ranger 4 Green. So these are the Zeo Rangers, whatever that means. And then there's different ones as time went by. I'm afraid to say more because I might look stupid to the Power Ranger fans.
I definitely will look stupid to the Power Ranger fans, but I do
Read some
know
stuff,
there's a whole bunch of different series out there with Power Rangers.
I figured they changed actor. Of course they have, but I figured it was just the Power Rangers.
I think there maybe have been one or two that have spanned over some of the series, but not all of them.
And they combine their powers, and Captain Planet pops out, right?
Sure.
All right.
And Pikachu shows
The
up at
board
one
game
point.
book volume 2. We talked about this earlier. I actually showed you
right.
the first one before. This is my pick of the week.
Yeah, this looks great. Well, I don't know about this second one, but the first one that I've seen in my hands is a very well-produced book.
It's the kind
Looks
of book
great.
that if someone came by and picked it up, you wouldn't be like,
that
oh,
down.
don't look at
Touch
that.
stuff.
No, not that. I mean,
Oh.
like it's not embarrassing at all. It's like, yeah, that's my hobby.
Like a coffee table book.
Sure, but it makes board gaming look good.
It does.
You know, and they have reviews of games. They talk about game strategy, and whoever they got to lay it out, I think that's just a
it.
really well laid out book.
That's the main takeaway for me. When I leafed through it, I was like, wow, this is very well professionally laid out. Great pictures in it, too.
Really, the whole thing well done. And they got interviews in there and stuff. So there's my review of the first one. So I assume it's just more of the
Let's
same.
watch it.
All right, Solar Storm, work together or die alone.
Hold on.
Wouldn't you also...
There we go.
What happened?
It went blank.
Oh, okay.
Solar
it's
Storm.
okay.
We had a little Solar Storm. I don't understand this quote. Wouldn't it be work together or die together? You would still not...
Work together or die alone.
It's a great quote. Shut up.
I don't get it. Could you explain it
It's
to
a
me?
play off Ben Franklin's
One
famous
if by
quote.
land, two if by sea.
No, where he said we must all hang together or we'll hang separately.
Okay. So he was talking about hanging, though.
Yeah, it was a pun. Anyway, so what's in the box?
I get it.
Great segue.
So, this game, is this what you were talking about earlier, right? It's like, look at all that stuff! And then you went down and found that the box was not a humongous box.
Yeah, I saw that.
No, that was Sam, I guess.
That was me. I was like, oh, wow, this looks cool. And I was like, oh, dinky little box. I'm good.
No, I don't mind that. I mean, I think it's
About the
cool,
box.
but the game I did not realize was this small until they showed this picture.
When I got down to here, I had seen all that stuff and the look of the game. I scrolled all the way back up to see if this was from Board and Dice, because it totally has their look.
Yeah.
It looks like one of those games that they
Yeah.
put out in that time. There was a time window there a year ago or so where they came out with Super Hot, and they came out with a couple of space games that all kind of looked like this.
Yeah.
I hope it's good. It looks okay, you know.
Yeah, no,
looks
this looked
interesting.
all right. I was mostly captivated. I wasn't sure what was going on, but it looks
My
good.
interest level, it could be a very awesome game, but my interest level just went when I saw how small the box was.
You love some small games,
Boxes.
though.
Some of them.
You're
I
such
mean,
a
in
boxist.
between is one of them, and but I don't know. It's just I was like, yeah, this looks cool. This is cool. Oh, it's just one of those.
There it
games.
is. Says Tiny Epic Solar Storms. Alrighty. 2 new expansions for Everdell, Spirecrest and Belfair, and holy rabbit, that is a lot of money for expansions.
Holy rabbits.
Two
that's
from
for
two
sure.
at the same time. I don't know, man.
Have you even played the new one yet?
I did. I reviewed it. I liked it quite a bit, but it took a game that certainly felt finished and well, without stretching the time frame in which you play the game, gave you lots of new things to do. You know? And I was like, all right, cool. But this is now like, I got a lot going on. I enjoyed it quite a bit. 2 more expansions. I'm worried about bloat. I think that's the best way to put it. I'm worried about there being too much stuff going on.
Why are some of the animals in this
adorable?
Not anthropomorphic.
Like the moose?
No, the moose, there's another picture of him having a monocle on his eyeball, on one of his eyes later on down in the but there's other ones that's like there's a mountain goat just.
Because some animals
Regular
talk
old
and
mountain
some
goat.
animals don't. You're allowed to eat the non-talking animals.
This is not
There's
Narnia.
no humans in this world.
That
This
is the
not
Narnia rules.
Narnia. Come on.
Here's a word I have not seen before. It's pre-stretched. So the stretch goals are already done.
Pre-stretches, okay.
That's is that like a stretch goal that you reached before it went live? Like, are you gonna back it? Yes. Are you? Yes. We reached our goal.
That's awesome, and then it goes live. I
Or
like
maybe
it.
Facebook likes or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Anyway, no, look, I'm excited about it. I like the game a lot. I like the new expansion a lot. I will try this. They're gorgeous and covered in beautiful artwork, all that stuff.
Oh, you mean like that boar there?
Yeah.
That's a beast of burden. Don't get no sentience.
Maybe, yeah. I am a little worried about how this is going to mix and match with the other stuff, but maybe it's not meant to.
Maybe you just play one at a time.
Maybe you just
Yeah, see,
meant to
there's
play
the
one. Yeah.
Oh, he has a monocle.
Moose with a monocle.
How does he get it into his eye? What if it falls out?
Don't ask questions.
You did just tell
First
him.
thing about Monocle Moose Club is you don't talk about Monocle Moose
All
Club.
right. Donning the
Moose.
Purple and Votes and Virtue. All right, so Donning the Purple is a game that I did not especially like that much, but I can see why some people did. Essentially, one person is the emperor, and you got to try to stay emperor as long as you can. Someone's trying to assassinate you. People are trying to control the Senate. I just felt like there was too few actions in it for me. However, I only played it once, which is why I haven't reviewed it, but just wasn't thrilled by it.
Yeah, I wasn't interested in this one because I wasn't interested in the original game when it came by. So
I do like the name. I like Donning the Purple. It's a
No,
good
yeah,
name.
it's
The
a cool
artwork
idea.
looks
It's a
good.
good theme. I just
And so
Just
a lot of people
simple,
do
yeah.
like it, so take my opinion for whatever it's worth. Barbarians the Invasion 2nd Edition. So I have played one of these guys' games recently, Miss Thea, which I really liked. And this is the 2nd edition. I think their first Kickstarter was Barbarians. So lots of miniatures. That has that.
It's a funky looking board.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
No,
Yeah.
that's one of the draws of the board. One of the draws of the game originally. I was really interested the first time this came around, and then I found out what kind of game it was, and I was very, very much less interested.
Oh.
It touts itself as a, it has all these miniatures and that type of stuff. It looks like a Ameritrash, at least a hybrid, but from what I've read, it's a very much a Euro game.
You haven't played this.
I have not played it because I haven't really got around to it.
What's wrong with those rings?
I don't know. Soft.
Oh, they're
plastic
soft
to
plastic.
ensure
I was like,
tight
those
fit.
rings are not very round there.
There's a dexterity element.
All right.
I had trouble with the first rule book too. That was another reason I never got around to playing it. So
Oh, well, maybe they've gotten better because
Yeah,
Miss
yeah,
Thea
yeah.
was a tighter game. I thought. Did you play Miss Thea?
no, I didn't.
That looked pretty. I saw you playing it. That looked really nice.
Yeah, Miss Thea is a game that like looks like this again, a Ameritrash game, but it's like no, it's closer to. It's like Vindication. It's in that same bucket as me.
Okay. Okay.
Well, you was wrong.
What was I
You
wrong
thought this
about?
was
Why?
your pick of the week.
Nope.
Well, there's Vikings in it. The only reason he didn't pick it is because he didn't play the
This
first.
is Z's pick of the week. Mint Cooperative,
How did you know?
That is not his pick of the week.
the minty fresh cooperative game.
The what?
No, because I know. Here though, Jonathan Gilmour designed it though. Normally he designs bigger, more grandiose games. This is the third one in the Mint games. We have Mint Delivery and Mint Works. This is the third one.
Mint Cooperative.
Didn't John Gilmore have a hand in that Mental Blocks game as well?
That was a different. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but
I mean,
that's still a bigger
it's-
game.
it's-
This is a small one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. I get it.
Peppermint Pizzazz.
So
Citizens
you liked
Cinema.
one of these, or a couple of them, right?
Oh,
Which
the
ones do
first
you
one,
like?
Mint Works, I liked a lot.
Okay.
Mint Delivery was okay. It wasn't bad. It was a decent pickup and delivery game, but this one I'm hoping is good.
This is my version of Sam looking at that science fiction game and being like, "Oh, it's a dinky box," which I thought was okay, right? It's about that big. This one's about that big.
Yeah. It's
At that
literally a
point,
mint
then I switch into, wow, really? You could have given me a little more. You know, I mean, just size-wise. When I need the tweezers to play, you know, I don't need that.
Look at that, though. 30,000 copies of Mintworks have been made, though. That's pretty impressive.
Great. That's
And you
great.
can fit half of them in a backpack. So what?
You know what, though? That's actually really useful when you're a board game company. You're like, all right, back up the truck.
Oh, I know.
Take out a box. Here they are. It's great for conventions and everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Easy to sell. So I'm hoping this one is good.
Cool. Dave Dugan says, I'm waiting for the sequel. Mint, your breast stank.
That's the original, the OG mint
The
tin.
Edge of Darkness, Cliffs of Cold Harbor. Edge of Darkness was a Kickstarter that blew up.
Man, it funded in 30 minutes. Look at that.
Sure, which I hate that. That is not art that attracts me
What do you mean?
to this particular. I don't know.
There is something wrong with her, right? What is going on? There's something off. Let me look.
She needs a little bit of, the makeup department needs to come by and take some of the shine off her forehead.
There's something else. Like her lips are really
nose.
big, but her
It's a Botox treatment. It's okay.
something's
It might be
going
a guy.
on. Maybe whoever that is. Their face.
Could be an alien too. You never know.
No, this is okay. Fantasy. This game, the first one came with. I mean, look at all that. That's what came with the first one. It's huge. It's big. I haven't reviewed it yet, but short. It is big. Too much going on, in my opinion. For the game, the gameplay is like here. I feel,
mint in play.
but in a big package. But there's too many things going on.
Okay.
Some people do like it. They were playing it last night at the board game group and enjoying it. So
Yeah, but those people probably like Power Rangers. So.
Some of the
My
people are
word.
saying that's what happens when you contract scurvy. That's what you look like.
Really?
all right, I'm not being mean
Other
to
people are saying
the fake person.
she's simply annoyed.
Okay, stop.
She's a little bit country. You're a little bit rock and roll.
All right, fine. Anyway,
love it.
more expansions. Here's the thing. There was already a ton of content in the base game. Like they have these location boards. You use, I think, 10 location boards per game.
Yeah, but what if you play 50 times? You need more.
I
You
don't
always
know.
need more content, Tom.
Or Lambus bread.
You're right. All right.
Always.
Board Royale survival card game. Now, this is one. What about this is making this do so well? I mean, it's
It appeals
94,000.
to.
That camouflage little
I think
backpack.
I think it appeals to Cards Against Humanity people. That's the kind of game this is, I think, because I saw a trailer with live action actors being dumb. And it was like a goofy, like live action
Sure, but there's
thing.
a lot of this stuff that's on.
No.
This is a
Safe
take
for-
that goofy, silly card game in which half the cards say we don't know what's gonna be yet. Literally, like all these, they don't know what it's gonna do. That's that kind of game. I think that's what it is. It's a game that folks that enjoy those kinds of games.
Sure,
will
I
like.
get that, but why is it popular now? It's their first Kickstarter.
Telling you, it's that
Good
travel pack,
good
man.
ad. Good ad.
Do you
Look
Cam.
at that travel pack.
Do you like that?
That'll fit on.
You can put your mint
toe?
10, you
A
can put your
puppy.
mint 10 game on there.
That's right.
This is a good campaign ad. It's a good-looking page. It's well put together. There's a quote from you.
That's not me. It's Mark Street.
Whatever.
All right, well, he reviewed it. I'll have to ask him why it's so popular.
Previewed it.
All right, 1987 Channel Tunnel and 1942 USS Yorktown. So this is a series of games that, from what I can tell, are tied together by the fact that they all start with a date.
19.
I've only played 1906 San Francisco, which is about rebuilding San Francisco after the earthquake. It's a Euro game about building stuff.
Yeah.
I have 1920 Wall Street, which looks like a stock market little type game. That 1942 looks like a war game. So I don't. They don't look like they're. They look like they're tied together by date.
Huh.
I'm actually surprised this is
Are they
doing
from the
so.
same designer, at least?
That I don't know.
No. But they have the same artist.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. This one looks cool.
I like the covers on these.
What they
but-
do though with these is they stick the thing. This is what you don't like, where it's a board game in a card game box, and you're like, wow, this is a whole board game.
Yeah.
Why was it in such a small box? Because we can.
Yes.
That does look interesting, though.
No, it does.
I'm more interested, I think, in the 1942 one, but the Channel one looks pretty interesting too.
No,
But again, you can see how they're using cards.
Yes.
And this is where the board would be.
I was interested in the idea of this series more than the implementation of it. And I would be willing to try these games. I'm just not sure I would buy them.
If it looks like the other game, though, the one I played, there's a lot of symbols because they don't have room on the cards are small and you don't have room for text on everything, you know.
Huh.
Alrighty. Dark Flow, an epic strategy miniature board game.
Dark Flow.
Another nasty looking creature.
This was almost my pick of the week.
I do like.
This was my pick of the week.
Really?
It is my pick of the week. Yeah.
Was your pick of the week?
It is.
It's still now your pick of the
still
week.
is right now.
I do like the box a lot. That's a cool looking box.
Yeah.
What did you like about it, Sam? What
I
caught
like
your
I like the different
eye?
factions. I like how it is I guess you could. It's a modular board setup. It has, different pieces that the board can fit together. I like the fact that you have different factions that are very different from each other.
One
They
faction
look
is
very
dice.
different.
That
No,
orange.
those are robots.
That is a 20-sided die.
Yeah,
And there's a
it's
6-sided dice.
not a 20-sided
12-sided die, sorry. And
Thank
there's a 6-sided dice.
They're robots. I don't think they're supposed
Yeah,
to be
they're
dice.
robots.
I'm going to paint mine as
Robots.
dice in my
See,
painting.
That's
That's a round die.
That's a 0-sided die.
It's a golf ball.
And
And
those are-
that's not a die at all. It's not even a symmetrical shape.
You need somebody
well, I
to
guess
roll
it's
it.
symmetrical.
Those are like the ones in Star Wars. They roll
But,
up in a ball.
I liked
Oh,
everything that I saw. The little Lilu columns there. That's pretty cool.
This looks cool
I
to
agree.
me, too.
The whole thing looked good. My only reservation was I kept looking around for it and I couldn't put my finger on gameplay. Because the factions look great, and later on there's even extra factions, and I'm like, these look great. But there were animal ones and stuff.
It's got
I couldn't quite figure out, like,
area
what kind
control,
of game
card
am I
play,
looking at?
battling. I hate to be broad sweeping with it, but it looks like it's more of that dudes on a map, area control, go fight, go take over different areas, and use your resources to upgrade your guys in different ways. That's what it looks like to me.
I saw this here, like you flip them over, you take an action, when they're all flipped, they all reset. And so it doesn't look Risk-like, it doesn't have that.
No.
So, but I still had a hard time figuring out, okay, so what is going on then?
Gotta say, the more I look at this, the more I want it.
You want it?
Yeah, I like it.
You
Looks
should
good.
change your pick of the week.
Nope.
Have we
All
heard
right.
about your pick of the week
It was
yet?
the book. All right. Critical hit. Diarrhea dice. Sorry, I put this in as a joke for Sam and Z.
And then you forgot it.
Easy to flush.
You need to stop.
Mama would be proud.
Did I back this
Because I
one?
ate my greens.
I don't know, but you should probably.
I love the catchphrases. Corn poop. Oh, hello again.
All right.
Why? Why'd you keep going? It's funny. Look at that. That's funny.
And what is witch poop?
Too much potion.
Okay.
That was my pick of the week, by the
No,
way.
it wasn't.
That is my pick of the week.
Yes, Detective City of Angels.
No, go back one. No, I'm kidding.
It made my number 2 pick of the week.
I'm so ashamed right now. All righty. Detective City of Angels, and with the expansion, I figured this would be your pick of the week
Yeah,
because
this
you
is
really
my
like
pick,
it.
baby. Throw it up there, son.
Here it did. Why you weren't
Put
looking.
it up again. No, I'm kidding. It's fine. Yeah, they got a new expansion here with a few new cases in it. Bam! It's up there now. You can get the base game through this Kickstarter campaign, but you can also get the original expansion they already had, and then the new one.
Does the new one use the same board?
Yeah.
All right, that's cool.
Same board, same plastic pieces. It's just the case.
Ooh, I want to play the Carnival of Souls.
Those are new cases that they include, and of course the new. This is neat. They have a bunch of new cards in it. The original one had Grift and Favor cards, which are optional, but they gave you more now. And then these kinds of cards go the other way. This is new. I don't know what a kickback card is, but that's a new concept.
It's only for Kickstarters.
No, that's not what that's about. So yeah, it looks neat.
I've never played this game, and it looks so appealing because I love Vincent Dutrait's artwork. I've just never played it.
I think you'd like it, man. This is really cool, and it's covered. If you like Vincent Trade artwork, this game is covered in his artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might like this because the whole thing is about solving a case, and it's not like a deduction game. It's more you can use your gut feeling. Like, she seems suspicious, so maybe she's the one who did it.
Yeah, actually, they don't ever really spell it out for you. That's the interesting part. It's a game about finding clues and then you deciding what happened to a degree.
Yeah.
It's not one of those games that eventually there is a card that says this person did it with this gun at this place.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist. That isn't there. In fact, if you eventually push someone you think is guilty too much, they'll be like, I ain't talking to you, copper. And that's all you're going to get out of them. So you got to make up your mind. I just reviewed that recently, and it's a fantastic game, spoiler alert. So check it out.
New Nami and Intuit game. This one, it said, what did it say? This one I think is an interesting looking game.
Yeah.
And they say you can play it, inside and outside, so I guess the cards are waterproof on here. My only worry about this game is it's trying to teach something, which is fine. But anytime a game tries to teach something, I want to know, is the game also fun?
Right. That's the worry there normally.
And
can it be educational and a fun
They talk
game?
a lot about how the game packages and how it sets up, and
cool.
you should support it because it's a good cause. Fine, but is the game? And this looks very prototypey, and I wonder if that's how the final game's going to look.
Yeah.
Like those triangle cards, that's super sharp edge type stuff.
Definitely a prototype.
Sure, I know it's a prototype, but I'm hoping that's not what the final game looks like.
I hear you. I don't know. But it's a neat looking game. You're right.
Yes.
Nouvelle
This
France.
is the one you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, this is the one I was talking about that kind of looks like a stacking game, but it just seems a little more finalized, maybe.
I saw this at Gen Con. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks neat on here. It's really pricey, unfortunately.
How much
back
is it?
it is
Ooh. Well, it's Canadian dollars, though. It's like
no. What is
like
it?
$3.
It says it in English.
That's
right?
57.
Yeah, it's kind of pricey. $60.
Yeah, but you get a lot of these blocks all come together like this.
I don't know.
Yes.
Do they?
No, they do.
Oh
Yes.
wow.
So they're all in these shapes, and you're basically building these three structures: the Bastille.
It looks neat. It looks really neat. That board, I wish they would give me the entire board. I only get 3 little slivers over. I'd like the entire playing surface.
Well, they like 3-dimensional stuff goes around it too.
What? Look
I
at
don't
that.
know.
Does it move by itself?
No, that old timey finger moves it.
Oh, okay.
No,
this looks.
This is one I'm really interested in. I hope it funds. It hasn't funded yet, so I'm hoping that by the next time it does.
Surprised this hasn't funded. It has not been up very long.
This was also one of the ones I was thinking about for my pick of the week.
Yeah.
This is
It just looks really
Jack Bro Playful Creation. What else have they done? I wouldn't be surprised if this one has been up before. No, 40 Thieves and Vikingar.
Vikingar.
I think does this one come across our shelf at some point?
I don't remember.
This one's 40 Thieves, although it looks. That's interesting. Well, I
I
hope
like
it's
the look of their games.
Yep.
Hopefully it's good. It does look very nice.
the Grand Carnival. This is another smallish style game. It's a polyomino. Polyomino game. I like how he sticks all the reviewers here that have like that
filter.
filter on them. I don't know what it is. This is a mechanism which is bordering really close on fatigue for me. The whole place Tetris shapes on a board.
Wait till we get to the next one.
Well, I understand that. But I like the theming of this, right? Building your own carnival. I like the artwork a lot. It's not creepy carnival. It's more fun carnival.
There's been a lot of carnival games lately.
Yeah.
This looks the best to me, honestly. In some of them, more like circus. In the circus one, you stack meeples. I don't care about that. In some of these other carnival ones, you play cards. I don't know.
This looks like a little bit that robot theme park game. Steam Park.
Maybe a little bit.
I don't know. I hope.
This looks neat. I like the theme, but I've yet to find a game with that theme that I was like, yeah, I love it, carnival. This one is the closest. I like this idea of building a theme park or a carnival, ride.
The Carnival Zombie.
That was.
There was no.
Carnival.
The carnival's over.
Yeah, that was post-carnival and carnage.
was.
All right, last one. Manchukuo. This
Was
is
there another one there? Oh, I was looking at something else.
All right.
I was thinking of
This is 1932.
a book of roll and write that just, I guess, we featured last episode.
Yeah,
I was talking about Fatigue from that.
This has a cool look to it, right? It's not a square board, so it has a kind of a fresh look. It looks like a Euro style game, but this one floated on my pick of the week. I think it looks pretty cool.
It looks neat.
No, I completely agree
That's
with
a cool looking board.
Yeah, I agree. That board looks neat. I don't know if it's modular or if that's just the way the board is.
you. Pretty sure it's modular. It almost has to be, doesn't it?
No.
Well,
No, a lot of
have to be.
And that artwork, I really like that.
Yeah.
That's really good artwork. That looks like it has a good theming to it. So, I hope this one is good. And look at that. That's interesting.
Once you start getting to the deluxe stuff, you're like, oh my.
All right, so let's pick
and
these. So I don't like sleeves, but let's say you got one of these. Which would you get?
I would probably go with the yellow one. I just like that one. It was that monkey.
A monkey, that's my pick.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I like that one best too.
You guys. I'm switching my
Game
pick of
trace.
the week.
Back. I like the
Pieces
deluxe
look
tokens.
good. Yeah. They
Oh,
look good.
it's so good looking. Oh, does it come with the little, or is that just a? That no, it's just
they're
icon.
just letting you know.
Even the
which one it is.
cover looks great though. Without the stupid sleeve, the cover looks fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, I just hope this game is as good as it looks because it looks. Who's the publisher of this one? I did not look.
Zero
Wait.
created, zero backed. Oh, it's a ghost publisher.
That is weird.
Let
Let me refresh the page and see.
They just pulled it down.
Oh, Tom likes it.
Oh, Penguin and Panda Productions. Okay.
Oh, Penguin and Panda.
You don't know who they are.
Yeah, they did, what else have they done? They did the Onimaru game.
What a dork.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Onimaru. Did you play this one? Oh, that's Japanime games. That's right. I remember looking at this because I was curious what else they had done, and I came here and I was like, oh, Japanime, I don't want a game from them. But it looks like they just published this for them.
You messed up.
Well, this one did really well. This Onimaru game, I mean.
That looks good too.
Yeah, but this one's already been delivered, I'm assuming. It's
No.
September 2019?
It says they have not delivered their previous project yet.
That's now. That's right now.
Ding dong. Guy walks in, hands it to us.
That's the future.
All right,
folks.
let's go to our contributors.
Board Gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back with another episode of Crowdsurfing Lanyap. That's right, I'm bringing you projects that won't break your budget, but throw in a little something extra. Here's what I'm checking out this week. Camp Pinetop is a brand new worker placement game from Talon Strike Studios. It's a thinky little puzzle that combines some set collection, a worker placement, and a little player interaction. Plus, it has a really cool theme. Let's check it out. Ah, the smell of campfire at night and the break of the sun in the early morning on your way out from camp. That's the promise of scouting in the outdoors, and that's the central theme of Camp Pinetop. Players are the leaders of a group of campers, exploring a map, a tableau of cards with locations on them. Each location offers the campers the chance to earn an achievement patch, which can break the rules of the game or give you a one-time bonus or strengthen your troop of campers. Turns are simple. You only have 4 choices of actions. You can either draw some cards, like in Ticket to Ride, or draw a card and move a camper, or move a camper and collect an achievement patch, or finally, you can put a new camper on the map. The goal is to collect enough achievement patches and upgrade your awards so that you move up in rank from Possum all the way to the highest award at Camp Pinetop, the Badger Badge. First one to get there is the winner. I don't always get to play these before the line-up segment, but in this case, Talon Strike sent me a prototype copy to try out. The final components will be different from what I got to play, but the artwork already looks good. Here's hoping that some custom meeples will come out if the project is successful. I love the fact that the mechanics are easy to get into, but wow, the decision tree you are presented is big. Those 4 actions may seem simple, but the addition of other players grabbing the patches and reshaping the map and racing to get a Badger Badge, it really amps up the fun. Plus, the theme and the artwork are awesome. I love the way the Animal Scouts are presented, and I'm sure the actual project we'll have even more to look at. Hey, so that's Camp Pine Top from designer Stephen Davies and Talent Strike Studios. It's out on Kickstarter right now. It's a game I really enjoyed, and if the theme and the mechanics appeal to you at all, you should check it out. The price point is only going to be around 20 bucks, and that's a lot of game in that package and that price range. And hey, there's a little bit of lanyap too. It recently won an award at the Boston Fig Tabletop Showcase. So we're talking maybe custom meeples, but definitely a cool theme, and an award winner. That'll make for some cool campfire stories. Until next time, laissez le bon temps rouler.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Dice Tower Preview Recap. I'm Mark, and today we have just a handful of games to take a look at, so let's get to it. First up, we have Darkflow. Darkflow takes place in a distant galaxy, on a planet where the multiverse converges. Factions from all over the different multiverses have come to this planet in order to gain control. The goal of the game here is to achieve the most Dominion points. And how do you do this? Well, you'll be deploying units. You'll be managing several different types of resources and building structures, and of course, fighting monsters. Darkflow is all about conquest, really. You're going to be deploying your troops. You're going to be deploying workers so you can build things, and you have a whole series of actions to perform throughout each round. Now, what's cool here is that these actions all can chain and do crazy different things. So you're going to be gathering cards throughout the game and adding these cards to each of the individual actions around your player board. So when you perform those actions, whatever you've added to them will basically change how your character is. It's almost asymmetrical, and it allows you to build out your character in a certain way, giving it multiple actions for each of the basic by chaining those cards together. It's really pretty cool. Next up, we have the Quest Kids. My Quest Kids is a dungeon crawl experience. And, you know, in some regard, it is considered to be my first dungeon crawl, as it really caters to the younger folks, as well as families in general. Very family friendly. And the goal here is that you're scouring the dungeon, like any good dungeon crawl, trying to complete your quests, trying to scare off the baddies, and it's sometimes working cooperatively to do so. You'll also be finding items and gems and things of that nature. But ultimately, in the end, whoever has the most stars is going to win the game. And so this game is for ages 5 and up. It is equivalent of being my first dungeon crawl. Playing it with the kids, it definitely resonated really well with them. And the game is easy to grasp, good for families, and just a really great way to get kids into that kind of dungeon crawl experience, scouring the dungeon, dealing with baddies, villains. Instead of killing them, you're scaring them off from the dungeon, and you're looking for gems, you're looking for items, all the trappings of a good dungeon crawl here, but scaled down for kids. There's a dragonfly on my camera, just so you know. And lastly, we have Philosophia. You're playing in ancient Greece. In Philosophia, you will live an epic Odyssey adventure, taking on the role of one of ancient Greece's greatest thinkers. Forge your destiny in an age of city-states and ancient wisdom. You will be building schools and competing in open debates, as well as gaining in wisdom and perhaps making deals with the ancient Olympic gods, all in an effort to be declared the greatest thinker of the era. So yes, you're going to be playing one of these great thinkers like Socrates. Each of these characters, each of these thinkers, I should say, have these wisdom cards. You're going to be trying to unlock them throughout the game. You have like 13 possible actions you can perform on your turn, which is awesome, giving that game kind of that sandbox feel. Absolutely. And you're moving across Greece, trying to gain enough wisdom and have the ultimate wisdom. And really, you might even be making deals with the Olympic gods, which is pretty cool. But this is definitely a game full of strategy, full of multiple win conditions, trying to get those labyrinth tokens and be the ultimate thinker of the land. All right, so my pick of the week. You know, it definitely has to go to Darkflow. Oh my gosh, this game, it looks polished, it looks done. I love the chaining of the actions. The game plays so well and turns move really fast. Yeah, there's a lot to like about this game. All right, folks, if you want any more information about any of the games that I mentioned here, please go check out my full previews. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table.
This episode is brought to you by GameFound. Create a free pledge manager for your project.
Maybe I should have said the secret to a success, not my success, whatever. No, I was thinking about this because I saw Everdell, the expansions, right? So we were looking at that one, and that one was that's blowing up.
Yes.
Like $800-some thousand for expansions. And I just find it interesting how going to Kickstarter for an expansion to an existing game or to the sequel to an existing game is almost guaranteed money. And we can look at companies, the first thing they put out a company, like for example, let's take a look here. Don't put this on the screen. We'll just take a look. We'll take a look at Come On. All right, so we'll take a look at their first campaign. How much do you think it made? Do you remember?
Is the first thing Blood Rage?
No, it wasn't Blood Rage.
I'm gonna guess $250,000.
For their very first campaign?
Sure.
There's 38 campaigns.
I'm going to say less than 100.
Less than 100? All right, let's see. Here's Chaos Ball. What was before Chaos Ball? The first one was the first zombie side.
That was probably 800,000.
781,000. But if Come On does a Kickstarter today that's 780,000, people will be like,
If it's a miniatures-based game, that didn't do so hot.
failure. But I mean, not all their games did well. They did the Guilds of Cadwallon here, and this one made 116,000, which is still a lot, but no one plays that these days.
A reprint also.
But as Come On got bigger and bigger, then suddenly it was kind of like dun, dun, dun. When Blood Rage and Rising Sun. I remember both those campaigns. We watched those campaigns, and especially Rising Sun. Remember, like they crashed Kickstarter practically.
Yes.
Wow.
And there's just that definite. It's gone against the grain of what Kickstarter was quote unquote meant to be.
Yes.
Here, I need help. Help me out. But who do we tend to help out? The bigger people. Why? Because we're there to get what we want.
Yeah.
And so the secret to success is success. Right?
Okay.
Previous success really helps out.
True.
I think previous success helps to the point where, remember earlier I took a look at that one campaign and I said, wow, how is this one doing well? Because I couldn't figure out what made that campaign do well. Most of the time I can say, oh, their last campaign was popular, each successive one gets popular. Or, for example, the big giant exploding kittens game.
Yeah.
That didn't have a prior one, but that guy did the Oatmeal comic, which was already a success. Therefore, it translated into a success on Kickstarter.
Moonrakers, that's their first board game. And success that company has had has not been in the board game realm. And they're blowing up on their Kickstarter as well.
I'm not saying it's the only. I'm not saying it's the only way to do it, for sure. I'm just saying it's definitely a guaranteed shot, almost in a sense. Like if I
one
make
of the
it,
best ways to find success is previous successes.
I think so. And you know what? I look at that a lot.
Sure, but everybody does. That's like a normal human reaction to things.
But I'm more tempted to not back your project if it's your first one, even if it is making a lot of money. I'll sit there and go.
That's like everything, though. I'm less tempted to ride in your Uber car if I'm your first Uber ride than if you have a track record of 5 stars with
true.
1,000 riders. You know,
Right.
I mean, like, that's just
I'm not
human.
going to buy your car if your cars continue to have transmission problems.
Right, like-
throughout. So I'm not going to buy.
Well, actually, that's kind of an interesting thing. I haven't noticed that complaints against campaigns and people saying we'll never back this again, that doesn't seem to necessarily hurt companies that much either. Companies who are slow to deliver, how often does that seem to really hurt their next campaign?
Sure, right.
It seems like once you're at that pinnacle, you're fine.
I guess so. I mean, it's harder to fall from it, I suppose, if it's just incompetence. If the only thing that's holding you back from you've had previous success, and now you've fallen into a rut of incompetence, you wear away from that more slowly. You know what I mean? Like you
I think
fall
so.
down on like absolute lack of success more slowly by sheer incompetence. Which is interesting. But again, it's like anything. If that person who drives that Uber, as long as they are not, again, if it's mere incompetence, not something horrible that they do, they could have a lot of bad experiences in their car until eventually people no longer want to ride in it.
All right.
So yeah, there's much faster ways to messing up.
Does that make Kickstarter harder though now for new people? When it first started, everyone was new. Now though, I go in there and say, "Oh, Kaman's doing something. Oh, Awakened Realms is doing a game." That's the one I'll look at.
Sure.
And if all things being equal, I go with the publisher I already know.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense. There are also, though, more board game publishers, i.e., more ways for you to get your game published without doing it yourself.
I think it also has to there's a lot of dependence upon what you're putting out there as well. If you've got, we talked about this earlier, and you kind of mentioned it tongue-in-cheek with, if you've got miniatures on it,
Sure.
You're probably going to do that much better unless it's painfully obvious that you only have miniatures and there is no game there.
What's a safer bet is the thing,
Yeah,
right?
you're at least
If you
getting
know there's demand before you print.
Right, but you're getting some kind of tangible product. You're not just
You
getting.
might not. They could be fraudulent and you never get anything.
True.
I'm saying it's safer for them to kickstart a game that costs $100 to produce if they know that immediately they are selling 6,000 copies of that game.
Yeah.
Because they can't press the print button, make 1,000, let's say, just to lowball a print run, and then sit on 800 of those that don't sell. That's a major money loss,
Yeah.
I think if your product costs a lot to produce, Kickstarter is still a good bet. Doesn't matter who you are.
Sure.
But for a small game that looks pretty, seems to be a nice game, I'm still suspicious of someone who goes directly to Kickstarter as their first shot at putting out a game, because there are more publishers. Your game looks good, sounds neat. Have you seen how many publishers are out there and what they're putting out? Someone should publish your game. Why aren't they? Any of them? That makes me feel like, what's up? Like you couldn't find? You didn't try?
Well, I guess that's where you would want to lean, right? You want to see, you haven't done your due diligence, but maybe they have. Some of that is, we've already got something like that in our product line. We don't want another one. It could be something like that just doesn't fit our thing. Yeah, sure, it's a great game, but it doesn't fit what we want to publish.
I get that, but I'm with Z in the sense that somebody would have printed it. I always say that if your game is even remotely good and you shop it around, somebody will pick it up.
Yeah, it just makes me worry when that person who is running the Kickstarter isn't a publisher. You don't have relations with printers. You don't have relations with
It's harder to
distributors.
do it the first time.
It's easy to say that. It's really easy to say that because there are so many different publishers out there. The problem with saying that, though, is that do you know how difficult, I guess, it would be to hit every single publisher?
It's certainly easier than printing the game yourself. That's a monumental task.
Not necessarily.
No.
Okay.
That is a fact, dude. Printing a game.
I'm just saying the number
It's
of people you have
huge amount of work.
the number of people you have to contact to make a game is vastly outnumbered by the number of companies that are out there that you would have to physically contact, each and every one of them. If you get somebody to back your project, the number of people you have to contact to bring that company to, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying the number of people, the amount of work that you have to do to get it published, I think, is less than if you were to go out there and contact every single publisher that's out there to see if one of them will print your game. Think about it. How many companies are out there? How many emails would you have to send? How many replies to emails would you have to send?
I would say like if you
over
got
and over and over
if
and
you
over.
got like 100 negative responses, then you should make a different game.
That might be true too.
But
I think at the end of the day, honestly, you're both talking about a lot of communication has to happen. I think it's true. Either route you go. I think at the end of
It's
the day,
hard work, period.
it's mere impatience. That route takes longer than that route. If I contact 3 companies and they all say no, it took them 4 months. Maybe one of them took the prototype. Finally got back to me after months, said, we're going to have to pass.
Right.
Forget this waiting. I'm going to Kickstarter.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is.
that could be.
Because Kickstarter, you're going to see that
Well,
money
there's also-
flow. You make it. It's faster. You feel much, maybe not instant gratification, but way faster. I think that's what it is. Is that bad? Good? I don't know. It depends how good you're going to end up being at that job. That is probably not your job. Producing games.
I
you
wish
know?
someone did Kickstarter statistics. I would love to see how many companies are one and done. I don't keep track of that. Usually I'll notice the second or third Kickstarter. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember these guys from this one. I don't keep track of, oh, these guys never made another game.
Sure. And again, I'm not trying, I personally don't want to suggest that if your game, your passion project, this idea you've had, and you just want to see it being done, if it doesn't make $1 million, it's a failure.
These 2 people said what I'm trying to say better.
Oh, of course.
First person said, Robin Powell, publishers are still going to be picky about what games they choose to publish, no matter how good the game is.
Yep.
Second person says, indeed, you get far more eyes on a game through Kickstarter than with traditional methods. That's all I'm trying to say.
No, I get that. So then go to a Kickstarter publisher. You still get the eyes on the game.
Right, but they're still going to be picking on you.
Again, if they're picky and they don't pick your game likely sucks. And
That's a hyperbolic statement.
I don't care. I really believe it at this point. Do you see the crap that is getting published? We get mediocre games all the time. Publishers are printing mediocre games at an alarming rate. So therefore, if your game is great, and you say it's great, and no one's printing it, then it's not great. That's what I've been saying that for a long time.
2 good name companies, mediocre games, hyperbolic games.
How about mediocre hyperbolic games?
I am starting a game publishing company with both of those.
Now, I know that people start companies for other reasons. They start them because they want money. Some people do that because they want a bigger chunk of the thing.
that's fine.
And some people, I think most of the time it's done because people want total control.
Yes. And that's fine. Those are all fine.
Those are different reasons, you know.
And again, like I said, if you have a small passion project and it does not make $1 million, that's not a failure. If you fund it and all you needed was $20,000 and you're happy, that's not a failure. You got what you wanted. You made a smaller game. What are we doing right now?
There's a... no, it's not as big as I thought it was.
Looks cool.
We're looking at something without talking.
Here, Roy, switch to my screen, I guess. I missed this one, Isofarian Guard. This is from Sky Kingdom Games.
It looks good.
Is that James Hudson's company?
No.
No.
Oh, Skybound.
Yeah.
What have these guys done in the past? Stonebound Saga, Land of Zion, which was canceled twice.
Not heard of any of those, actually.
Okay.
They all have a very similar look. I guess they have their own shared universe.
A lot of people are looking at this just from my different social media feeds. A lot of people are looking at it. So
Wow, this looks exactly like that game I just reviewed, the Rurik game. I mean, the map does anyway. Maybe it's the same.
oh, I'm looking at stickers.
I don't know if those are.
Maybe those are
stickers.
chips.
They might come
those
in-
are tokens or something like that.
This is a very. Okay, maybe it's good. I mean, it has game trays, so. It looks okay. It's not like really selling me because it's hard to tell what the game is exactly. And it's a 1 to 2 player narrative-driven board game.
Narrative-driven storytelling adventure. Yeah.
So it's a computer game that's a board game. Well, maybe it's like Seventh Continent.
Cool. You like that?
Looks like there's some books that have binders, spiral bound books. Maybe so.
I'll have to wait and see what it looks like. Alrighty. Well, that was our
Looks good.
final thing we looked at. We gotta get going here. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thanks.
Sam Healy. See you on the flip side, folks. Take care.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.